Hello and welcome to the Pininfarina Batista with Furiosa event. That's a mouthful. I ended up with those upgrades, just over 1.1 million R dollars, 185 gold. After the rewards, it's about 930,000 R dollars and 110 gold. So that's a little bit more than I think what I've seen some other people doing, but it's what I ended up doing. I always like doing these videos or these events myself, just figuring it out for myself. Sometimes my way is the cheapest, sometimes it's not. Sometimes my way is just maybe a little bit easier than other ways, and then sometimes not. But I think it's nice for people to see different ways this is done. Oh boy, that's kind of sketchy, isn't it? I didn't test drive this, I just hopped in and drove it. We're not going to do this whole first race here because it's going to get boring. Just drag it out. Don't finish fast, okay? So that's my number one point. And this car is very fast backwards. Now, I clip a wall here, but, we'll do more of this later. Again, I didn't experiment with this. Backwards driving is always interesting because everything flips around. To go left, you turn right. To turn right, you go left. Gas is brakes, brakes is gas, or throttle, I should say, in an electric car. And the braking ability is substantially better when you're driving in reverse because acceleration becomes brakes. It's kind of crazy how it works. So just for these first few races, just drag it out. Don't finish too fast because that's going to really hurt you later on. So just take your time, even goof around a little bit, crash people if you want to. Just make sure it takes longer, and that will help to keep the bots slower later on. Oh boy, I drove that in way too fast. As with most electric cars, this thing feels a little bit heavy. Let's skip ahead to some silliness I do to waste time. Like, you can still phase into a wall if you want to. You got to hit it sideways, and you're going to reappear in 3 seconds. You see my car dropping from who knows where. It's hilarious. But I was wasting some time. Like I said, you want to drag the races out. It just helps to keep the bots slower and the targets lower. So then what do you do when it comes to an average speed event? There's different tricks you can use, and there's even more tricks when you're dealing with electric cars and their ridiculous rate of reverse speed and acceleration and braking ability. So I don't want to finish near in the top, which is what would happen if I was trying to go forwards here. I'm not sure where I'd finish, but I'm not going to bother testing it. I didn't want to damage my car. I'm going to go backwards for a bit because I can still build average speed that way, and this thing is stupid fast in reverse. One thing, though, is how does it handle in reverse? Very loose, because you then end up having rear steering. Like, it's my front end that's steering, but I'm going backwards, so it's really rear end steering, which is very strange. Okay, so I'll back up a little bit more here, and then we're going to go forwards, and you're just going to see how much average speed I already built. Look at that. That's crazy, and it's going to start building right away. So that makes an event like this really easy. This stage, I should say, not the whole event. We're not going to go through the whole race. Once I get at the start-finish straight, we'll just warp ahead through the end of this race. Nothing really to see, right? Like, I just finished the race. At this point, I don't believe there was anything about no off-track, so you could go lawnmower mode if you want to. Lawnmower mode is when you drive across the grass. So we're just warping ahead here, and as you can see, no trouble with ridiculous average speed, but not finishing too high. Okay, well, by now you might be saying, come on, man, I want to see you driving a lap at Spa. Okay, no problem. Let's do that this time. This one's got a time requirement, so it won't be crazy. That's a long time for one lap. Oh, the timer already started. Well, then, there you go. So it's, I don't know how crunchy it is. Interesting, like, when you see the competition here, you know this could get really difficult. Like, I think that's an XX Stradale, SF90 XX Stradale. There was a Bugatti La Voiture Noire. There's a Koenigsegg Regera. So this could get really crazy later on, and if the bots start getting ramped up. Pagani there, and this thing, the rate of acceleration on this thing is absolutely berserk. By the way, what a lot of people may not know, Rimac or Rimats had a lot was quite involved in building helping with the Batista, with the Pininfarinas. So that was an interesting piece of information there. So the car was, it's been in the works for quite a long time. I'm very curious to see how this car would handle, I don't know if I went off track there. Curious to see how it would handle if it was fully upgraded. I'm not doing that, at least not at this time. So one thing that makes the brakes feel so much worse in a car like this is that you're hitting corners ridiculously fast. So we had this conversation when we were talking about the Nevera, that is the Rimac. Rimats is the proper way, but Rimac is what they went with for the car name. So that is the fastest accelerating car in the game, unless you're talking about 0 to 400 and 0 to 500. But so you're hitting corners faster than you ever have in that car. That's why you're on the brakes so much sooner. Now, don't get me wrong, the brakes are bad on this car with these upgrades, but that's part of the territory with such a heavy car, you know, with a huge battery and all that stuff. So that's just going to be part of the territory. Okay, so I'm finishing. I'm really early. So I'm actually going to let some people pass me. And I'm going to pull up here very close to the line. I want to keep my eyes on my timer, but I use the lowest viewpoint so I can actually keep my eyes on the line too. So I don't want to finish any higher than I have to. Now, I'm probably 2 car lengths away yet, so I better be careful. I don't want to do this again. That's good. Maybe, there we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. Those cars were so close together, but I actually finished in between them. That's kind of crazy. All right, here we are at stage 2. I did try experimenting with quit and retry, and it was odd. It would go between 327 and 333. So it's kind of the luck of the draw if you get a 327 target to pop up, but go for that if you can, because that's going to allow you to finish the event, to finish this race slower, which should hopefully keep the targets a little bit lower. It's not a big difference. I decided to practice a little bit of drifting because all-wheel drive cars can drift like crazy. And I don't know, just kind of fun. Drifting at Nürburgring is fun. And now I know I'm going to be hitting speed more around, you know, heading to the last chicane. Last chicane? Yeah, last chicane. Not the huge right-hand corner near the end. I call it huge. It's not that huge, but it's not like Parabolica huge. But it's kind of a bigger corner. Yeah, this car kind of... So you'll notice here, this is my first time doing Nürburgring in this car. Already it's looking better than when I was driving Spa. I was pretty sloppy there. I've said this in other events, but as you learn a car, you adapt that. You adapt that to the next track before you even get there. So then I already know kind of I'm backing up braking points or I'm adjusting acceleration points. Now I should have been feathering this. I kind of overshot that more than I needed to. Not a big deal. But yeah, that'll wrap this up nice and clean pretty quickly. And we'll just get on to the next one. And yeah, I was trying to do a little bit more drifting, but that didn't really work out all that well. No big deal. So again, I still have no upgrades. I don't know the upgrades I'm going to need until I need them. So you'll see that at the loading screen here, there's no upgrades. So just keep going, and there you go. Now this should not be difficult. Hopefully I don't have to win the race. Boy, when you've got a Bugatti starting in 7th place, that's kind of crazy. And that was a CC850, I believe, Koenigsegg. And then we got a Nevera, so that'll be interesting. Now, they always take this first corner horrible. It's almost like he was formation driving. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time with him. I want to make sure I was just checking what time do I have to hit. Also, I forgot to have bot names enabled. I like to do that sometimes so I know who I'm racing against. I don't like the avatars. I find it distracting. It gets in my way. Sometimes I don't mind it, but when I'm doing time trial driving, it's really frustrating for me. I find it very distracting. So I turn everything off so I can just focus on driving, and I'll pay attention to the ghost sometimes, but the name keeps jumping back and forth. Drives me crazy. Okay, so you can see I'm dialing this in. Drive it as fast as you can, and then give back some time at the end of the lap. So don't cross the start-finish line too fast. Like it says, finish each lap in under 1:33. Okay, well, you want to cut that close both times, not just once, not just the overall race time. So I'm going to drag this out. I'll let Martinez catch up here. Maybe even let him pass. Oh, I probably went off track a little bit there. First lap, I was starting from a dead stop. So this time I'll have a run of speed. Yeah, I can slow down a bit here. There we go. Hey, Martinez, let's go. Let's go. Come on, man. I want you to go to the outside. I kind of just like to let him have a clean pass. See if he takes it really bad again. See, look at this. He took that corner much better the second time around. So the first time around, he was formation driving, meaning he was sticking to his lane, but that makes you take really bad race lines as a driver. So I might give him a little bit of a bump draft here, but for the most part, I'll leave him alone. If you bump a bot too much, they actually slow down more. So I'm just going to kind of stay out of his way, maybe give him a little bit of a bump. Nope, couldn't get him there. He's probably pulling out of those corners better than me, because I've got nothing for upgrades, and he's got something, I'm guessing, with how good he's driving. But catching some slipstream, that's kind of fun around the Nürburgring. And let's see what I can do here. He's braking pretty early too. And we're going to head to the last chicane, a little more. Oh boy, that was close. Ridiculous rate of acceleration. Interesting flash on the brakes there. Just goes to show you why you don't necessarily want to have assists on, because you're going to be braking at silly times. Now I've got 11 seconds, 10 seconds left. I'll let him go. So that wasn't a big deal to let him go. There's no way third place is catching up. Now I don't know if this is going to, third place is not too far away. That was crazy, but you know me. Sometimes I like to do crazy. I definitely finished in time. Be drafted for 3 seconds, then finish in at least 6th. So remember, be drafted means you need to be in front of another car and have them within 10 to 20 meters or yards. It's not too different. If you have them much less than 10, they're going to try to get around you. They're going to try to pass you. If you have it much more than 20, you're going to lose the slipstream or the draft. Yeah, you can go up to 25, maybe even almost 30. But see here, I'll catch a little bit as I speed away from him. Oh, there you go. I got it all right now. There you go. So now I can just do whatever I want, have some fun. I just have to pass him. See if I can do a drift pass. That's pretty cool. Woo! Grinding into the Porsche a little bit. Lots of electric cars. I noticed there's a Porsche Mission R out here as well. And that's kind of interesting. And yeah, I mean, the rest of this lap, I'm just going to be driving it. So let's just skip it. Big drift as we're heading into the last corner there. Oh, still tagged the wall a little bit. Not a big deal. And then I'm driving blind again. Driving forwards while looking backwards. That's kind of a silly thing to do, but I do things like that, as you know very well. Reach a top speed. Oh, interesting. So I was a little bit prophetic there when I was practicing my drifting around this track. Because now we got to drift for 20 seconds. That's quite a lot. And you can't let anyone pass you, if I recall correctly. Okay. So, definitely can hit your speed here. Or you can hit your speed on the back straight as well. But definitely you're able to hit it right here. You're going to see that. There we go. No trouble at all. Throw a big skid if I want to. But then don't let anyone pass me. So then you want to make sure you don't overtake too many drivers. Like, look at that. That's crazy how much you can drift this thing. Now, of course, you got to pay attention to don't go off track. And don't let the guy behind you catch up very much. Now, so you can also do this. See, I'm getting a little bit, not much though, not much. So you're better off doing bigger drifts, bigger slides. So how do you drift? Well, you know where the proper braking point is. Drive it in a little bit deeper than that. Throw it sideways, and you can keep it on the brakes or feather the throttle, a little bit of both. And that's what you'll see me doing. Got to keep this guy off my back though. So I'm going to space him out here. There we go, gapping him a little bit. And then again, I'll just start hucking it sideways a little bit. I got a lot more to get in yet. Interesting. I'm being careful. I don't want to let him get too close. There we go. That got a huge chunk in. Surprised he's keeping up with me so much. 6th place. Now, they take the chicane really bad. We're allowed to cut it a lot more than they do. Oh, nuts. I should have dragged it out. I didn't know that was going to happen. Ah, well, big picture, a few mistakes like that aren't really going to affect you. Okay, stage 3, we're Red Bulling it, and still no upgrades. Again, when you're doing an event like this for your first time, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, are you going to have to buy them or not? Sometimes it's really hard to tell which stages get difficult and which stages aren't. So, yeah, we'll see more. Now, I don't know if it's going to show up in this video, but as of update 13.3, the 30 FPS maximum for iOS users is gone. Blew my mind when I opened the game. The menu is going so nice. Like, I've got an iPhone 15 Pro Max, so some of the best movements, and it was so frustrating. I was actually just about to be ordering an Android phone. For my work, I need an iPhone. Everyone uses their calendars. Our calendars are all linked. But, I was just thinking, man, I'm really missing that 60 FPS or possibly even seeing 120. So I don't know if it's going to show up in this video because I'm just using the stock iOS recorder, and that might be 30 FPS, and so I might need to actually start experimenting with screen recorders again and find something that does 60. Because one of the recorders I used to use one called Record It, which has a one-time fee of like $5 Canadian, $6 Canadian maybe, which is not very much. But it just seemed like it was getting more and more choppy. Oh, smash on the Mission R. So I stopped using it, I don't know, like a year ago. And maybe I got to rethink that because it's, the game looks pretty good for me. I'm enjoying it. Okay, so Red Bulling it. And I gotta say, I don't necessarily like driving this car at Red Bull because you've got Red Bull's a technical track. For instance, this next corner, we're going downhill when we're braking. And so in a car like this, I'm on the brakes way earlier than I want to be. I obviously need to. I took 2 tires off track there, which extended my braking distance. Definitely something you got to be careful about in cars that take a long time to slow down. Again, though, there's 2 things happening. One, this car is shockingly fast. The acceleration rate is insane. So you're approaching corners faster than you're used to. But then 2, the brakes aren't that great. So it's kind of a double whammy. And that's hurting us. Okay, there we go. I gave him a bump pass because I needed that 5th place. Now I'm going to let him catch up a little bit. I don't want a huge lead if I don't need one. There's actually some interesting races coming up here. This isn't one of them. But yeah, this is not the one of them. There's a pretty interesting one coming up that, let's see. One thing I have not mentioned as I'm thinking about that is, again, with this event, if you're having a real hard time, quit and retry, and the cars the bots get in will be randomized. So that can make some races quite easy where other ones were hard. For instance, I'm pretty sure that was a Bugatti Chiron in 3rd place there. That's not going to be very difficult to deal with. Same with that Pagani. Not difficult to deal with in this Pininfarina. But if I had a Navara in the front, or other cars, similar to that, that can be a problem. So bear that in mind, that if you're having a real hard time, don't fight it too hard, just quit and retry, and you might get a better lineup. First, though, you've got to be familiar with the track in the car so you kind of know how to maximize it. You can tell I'm still slipping and sliding a little bit, and not a big deal, but you can see there I'm much less. I'm keeping this car hooked up a lot. By the way, very interesting active spoiler. I'm very happy to see the active dual spoilers. That's cool. Definitely something we've been missing sometimes. I decided I'd do the reverse thing because, I don't know, why not? It's hilarious. And then slow down a little bit. Still needed that lead. All right, that's another one in the bank. And this might be maintain average speed. Okay, so this isn't. This one was a challenge, guys, with no upgrades. Again, up to this point, I didn't know I was going to need upgrades. So, build some average speed by going backwards first. And let's see here. Go back a ways. Man, look at that. Isn't that insane? How fast it can accelerate in reverse. Like, it's just crazy. This thing is just crazy fast. Because there is no requirement on where I finish, it really doesn't matter. So I thought, whatever, I'll go back a ways here. I mean, that's probably about good. I'm going to have smash into the wall rather than try to slow down properly. Oh, I didn't hit average speed yet. That's interesting. Huh. I thought I would have hit it by now. Well, let's see how fast it builds. Yeah, you know what? I end up getting pretty aggressive here. This gets very difficult, so I started using some more advanced techniques. Now, I could have, instead of driving in reverse, I could have turned around and just driven the wrong way for several laps. Like, you can do that and no big deal. But I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to use wall braking. So, coming up on this corner, I need to brake right about here, right here, to make it. Well, you can see I drove it in way deeper. Oof, I really bashed into that wall badly. Sometimes you dig into a wall. Believe it or not, all 4 tires off track is your fastest braking ability. And then if you grind into a wall, even more so. Ooh, exploded a taillight on the right side of the vehicle. Huh. Well, I've known this for years, but maybe some of you guys don't. If you hit something hard enough with your front end, your back end explodes. It's really weird. It's like the game doesn't quite know what part of the car hit because you just hit so hard. So we still, I think I'm correct in saying that we have not seen that average speed hit once yet. That's not good. I'm not wanting to do this another time because it already took me a little bit to figure this out. Okay, it's got to be soon. What is it, 229 something? That wasn't necessarily good at all. Okay, some of these are working, some of these aren't. Come on, 229. Come on, I want to see that. There we go, it's not quite 229. Okay, very late. There, that's better, that's better. I didn't dig in as much. So I should hit it here again. Pretty soon, there we go, like 228.6 maybe it is? Ooh, that's pretty early that I went and did that. Oh, that's actually pretty good though. That set me up for this corner. Okay, 228. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 228.6. I'm not happy. This feels sketch. Oh, and horrible entrance to that corner. This feels very sketchy to me. Okay, there we go. Nicely over. Heavy braking. Didn't lose much. Lost a bit. Oh, we're good. Woohoo! Boy, that had me a bit nervous. I wouldn't want to do that again. I mean, it's not horrible if I have to. I don't want to. This one is not the one. Sorry, guys. I'm mixing this up. This one's interesting. It might seem really daunting, but again, there's nothing about where you finish. So if you can't hit speed 5 times going forwards, no big deal. Turn around and do it the other way. It doesn't matter. So here, I've hit speed once. I can't hit speed here. But I can definitely hit speed here. Now, it's possible I could have had some slipstreaming help. You don't want to necessarily use a car for braking, meaning bump drafting a lot, because you're going to end up getting damaged. Now, I should be able to hit speed here. I think there was a no off-track requirement, right? Pretty sure there was, so I'm not going to be going off-track. And then I think I can hit speed here. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how close I can take this. I got to brake really soon. Yeah, I got nervous. I mean, even this feels a bit deep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, well, because of that, there's no way I'm hitting speed here. So we've got a problem. There's no way I can hit speed yet. A 5th time. 4th time, yeah, easy. And I'm already in 9th place. I could get Gomez. I don't know if I catch him or not. I don't really care. I'm going to turn around soon. So I'm going to hit my speed target here, and then very carefully get my car turned around here. Believe it or not, that is careful. Might not look that way. And then avoid head-on collisions. So I might be able to hit speed going in reverse, but I haven't driven this track backwards much for a while, so I'm not really wanting to do that. So I'll just do it right here again. This was a really easy place for me to hit that target speed without having to worry about things going wrong, right? So that's important. So let's just blast through this. Like, I'm hitting speed so early. It's a little bit, yeah. It's a little bit of a concern there, but nothing too major. So then that means it must be the next race that's the one I've been thinking about. You know what? It was race 1 of stage 3 that was really interesting, where you had to gain at least 2 places each lap and finish in 5th. That's the one where I did the bump pass on the guy. So, sorry guys, I kept on talking about it, but it was already in the past. Okay, here, dealing with this Navera, you must pass it here. Right here. You must pass it here or it's gone. You're not going to catch him. Unless you have more upgrades than me. He's gonna be gone. And then you need to aggressively block. You're gonna see what I mean. So what's the secret to blocking? Well, you need to know exactly where the bots want to drive and drive in their way. So that means I'm actually on the brakes earlier. See, I don't mind him getting on the outside of me like this because I'm on the inside line. So I'm not worried about that. I'm controlling the inside line. And I can slam the door on the outside whenever I need to. But that Navara is definitely, look at Magnus. Holy smokes, he's driving that thing fast. I'm not letting him on my inside. See that? Oh, come on. Oh, I might have to smack you a little bit. There we go. You smack a bot hard like that when they're behind you, and they will hit the brakes almost all the time. But if they get right up beside you, they won't. Okay, he's all over me. He's just all over me. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to really control him. So you see how I'm knowing where he wants to drive, and I'm driving there. On the brakes early, controlling the inside. He's forced to go outside. Doesn't work for him. Vale chicane, last spot. Again, on the brakes early. Control it. Control the race line. And there we go. I might even let him catch up a little bit. Come on, Magnus, where'd you go? Whoa, there he is. Holy smokes. That Navara is fast. Okay, there we go. I don't know why auto accelerate is off. Oh well, it just is. I mean, it's... So for this one, you got to drive it fast right from the start, or else your tires degrade too quickly, I found out. It didn't make sense to me, but that's what happens. I tried taking it slower because I was watching my timer, and I didn't want... Ooh, I already spent some off track. I was watching my timer, and I wanted to get a really good run, and I wanted to let cars in front of me, but then the tires are degraded too much. Now, you can cross the start-finish line with 0% on your tires as long as you're in the time requirement. So you can have 0 tires and pass the stage. I tell you, it's brutal if you do that. Okay, there's a Senna GTR. Get by him nicely. And time does become a problem. So you can't afford to sit around here and be nice. You got to get around people fast. At 50%, this is already a nightmare to drive. And maybe I should have added more R$ upgrades. I didn't want to. And I do regret that now, but it took me long enough to get this done for you guys. Still got a lot going on in my life. And there we go. So this is horrible heading into Beckett's Complex and Chapel Curve with these tires. You really don't want to be off track. Going off track will wear out your tires so fast. So we do get away with a little bit of off track. Try not to have any. 2 tires off track is okay, meaning it won't wear out your tires quicker. 4 tires off track is not okay. You're going to wear things out too quickly. Okay, here we are, and this is getting nasty. And I'm all over the place. 9%, 8%, 7, 6, 5, 4. So this one I don't completely run out of tires. Almost, but I did do that once, and it's inconsequential. Doesn't matter, you're fine. Okay, finish at least 5th, but complete the first lap in 7th. Well, that gets interesting. Lots of requirements on this one. So this can worry you. Don't let it worry you. Average speed will take care of itself. You don't need to worry about that if you're driving properly. There's the soap tail. That's not what it's called, of course, but that's what it got called online, and I love it, so I call it the soap tail. It seems like when you're in 7th place, ooh! That cracked my windshield. I was not expecting him to be formation driving still. I should have known better. Huh. I actually completed this race like this? That's a surprise. I just didn't think that was possible. I guess I just forgot that I cracked my windshield and kept going. Gosh, that's brutal. Okay, so there's Tommy. I got to get past Tommy. He's in a... My brain is drawing a blank, guys. I remember doing the event. My brain's just doing a complete blank. I've been having that happen lately. Some of you guys know it's been a difficult time. With my stepmother passed away, and she was She was actually a subscriber to my channel, like 80 years old. She'd still watch the videos. Not that she cares about cars, but she cared about all her kids. She was a lovely woman. So we lost her recently, did the funeral, and lots of things going on. So my brain's a little bit foggy with some things. Still can race, though, apparently. My racing is not too shabby. Just some of my memory. Zenvo, is that right? I mean, obviously I can look it up, but I'm kind of being real with you guys. I want to say Zenvo, Zenvo. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely out to lunch, and I'll find that out later when I look it up and feel stupid. But anyway, getting through it, getting through life. I want to say that's that Koenigsegg CC850. I think I'm right in saying that. There we go. A little bit of drifting here and there. I got to make up some distance. But you see what I mean? They seemed so far away, and they're really not that far away. But it seems really daunting when you're finishing that first lap. It feels like you're nowhere near these guys. And then you just kind of catch up. Oh, that's a Navara in front of me. That is not nice. But that's a Mission R in front of him. And bots are bad at passing other bots. So we're about to get in a stack up here. I might even pass both of them. I might. Let's just see here. That Porsche, he's going to slow down a bit. Well, he's a fifth place car. Oh, the Navara was... I thought he was going to overtake him. Okay, I'm not waiting around, guys. Okay, so I got fifth. I'm not hanging around. I'm not going to be playing with you very much here, buddy boy. I wouldn't mind if that Navara passed me, but I'm not going to wait for him. Oh, my average speed is a problem. You know what? I might need to cut the last chicane to keep my average speed up. Can I do it? Can I get away with it? Can I get away with that much off track? Oh, I did. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of off track allowed. I'm surprised. I was just worried my average speed wasn't going to be enough. Nice. It is done. Very good. Happy with that one. Okay, win speed snap without going off track. That's a little bit of improper English, but okay. Okay, I needed upgrades. So I couldn't do this without getting some upgrades. I was pretty close, but I kind of made a rule for myself not to pull my hair out too much. So I drive forward just a little bit from here, and then I start my turn right away. Then you got to take it super wide. Notice how I'm not hugging that corner. And then extend the track length by swooping back and forth. There we go. So that works. That's the end of this stage. And we are on to stage 5. Finish at least third with degrading brakes and without running out of battery. So one weird thing in this game is batteries and fuel. It doesn't make any sense. We've had some stages where fuel seems to go down so slowly. And then other stages where it's like someone shoved a screwdriver into your gas tank and you're leaking and you're going to explode. Battery power is falling so ridiculously fast here. It is regenerating when I'm on the brakes or when I'm coasting. But look how fast that's falling. There's just nothing predictable about this. Meaning if you drive Formula E, it doesn't fall that fast. Like 100% battery for one lap? I don't think so. Like this has got a really crappy battery if 100% only does one lap. I'm sorry guys, you didn't think this through very well. This is a mistake. This doesn't make this car look very good. You should have had like 10% battery lasts a lap. That makes this car look impressive then. To me, this is not impressive, but okay. Maybe we're down a few fuel cells within that battery. Let's just say we are. Okay, well, I'm driving this pretty aggressive. Brakes are going fast. Don't necessarily want to do bot braking, meaning smashing into someone, especially since I got to pass this Bugatti. Man, look at that acceleration rate. Like a Le Voiture Noire is a very fast car, but the Batista just goes right by it. Okay, well, lots of battery left over. I mean, nothing really to worry about. I was doing a little bit of coasting, not much though. Williams is on me, but not for long. Beautiful. There we go. All done in the bank. All right. Okay. Overtake Ahmed, Norman, and Magnus. Well, that can be daunting. Obviously, this took me a while. But then I realized it's not as bad as it seems. What took me a while is figuring out Dubai in this car. I was just driving it too aggressive. Also, remember, if you're having trouble, You can restart and things normalize. You want to encounter the Nevera early. You do not want the Nevera higher up, because each bot, a fourth place bot drives more aggressive than a second place bot, okay? Just by the nature of the bots. Although Magnus is Magnus, he's always going to drive the way he drives. But we can outdrive him, as you're seeing. I'm outdriving Magnus. He's not taking the technical sections of Dubai very well, so I outdrove him. Okay, there's Norman. I want to say he's in the La Voiture Noire. Yes, you guys can laugh at my French. I'm Canadian. French is our second language, but I'm pretty far from Quebec. So not a lot of French spoken here. Actually, though, there are some French villages not too far from me. You get those pockets in Canada where you can have these French villages. It's kind of funny. Or even in Quebec, there's fully English areas. So anyway, I was right. It is a La Voiture Noire. And yes, I decided to damage myself doing a bump pass. I've got a lot of time to make up here. Drifting it pretty heavy into here. He's in a CC850. I hope I haven't been getting that wrong, guys. You're going to be all over me if I am. Bump draft, bump pass. Not too hard. That's actually good. There we go. That's what I had to do. That's what I did. All said and done. Woohoo! Okay. Finish the elimination race and get 1,640.4 yards? That's obviously a much smoother number in meters. Yeah, 1,500. Why write it in yards? I actually don't understand that. Almost the whole world uses the metric system. I think it's 91% of the world uses the metric system. I think that's right. Pretty sure that's correct. Yep, I'm pretty confident in that. So that's why it's kind of funny to me. Oh well. I'm not going to worry too much about him, about my slipstreaming until I get further up. I'm driving it in deep. That wasn't a good one. Meaning I wasted more than I gained. But I'm driving it in too deep sometimes, and I'm just trying to save it. So, this is a really long elimination race. 40 seconds per car. Okay, that would explain why this isn't as bad as it seems. Like, man, just look at our acceleration rate in this thing. It's nuts. By the way, what is Furiosa? Like, it says it's with Furiosa. What's that? Like, I'm pretty sure it's just Fury in a different language. But what does that mean? Like, is this... Like, what I'm getting at is you get some cars, okay, it's turbocharged, it's supercharged. Is Furiosa something like that? But this is electric. Like, you don't get turbocharged. You don't get supercharged. I don't know what it means. So I didn't look it up. I probably could. I didn't really research it. Just curious if anyone out there knows what that actually means. It's kind of funny to me. Okay, well, I've got one more car to go. And that amount of slipstreaming happens very fast. You know it's not actually yards or meters. It's Roman cubits. Gotta love that. I wonder if the new developers know that. Don't know if I ever told them. They can't fix it. Like, they could fix that on a go forward, but it would really screw up all the old races. I mean, especially, there's been some races where you pretty well had to slipstream the entire race. Well, if they still required you to do that many units and you were only getting 1 meter per unit versus the 2.25 we currently get, that would be a bit of a problem. So we'll just have to leave it the way it is. Okay, still have quite a ways to go, and I'm nicely in the lead. So let's just wrap this one up. There was really nothing more to it at that point, and it just drags things out. So there you go. You can see I got the lead, no trouble. It was no trouble for me to keep the lead. Let's move on. Okay. Now, this is where I ran into trouble. I didn't bother showing you the loading screen because I added more upgrades later, so it would look inaccurate. So I'll show you my final upgrades. They're what I showed you at the beginning of the video, but hitting speed here, I tried a few things, and you can't get overtaken. So, like, I had tried waiting for the pack to catch up to me. And if you wait once in a while, there ends up being a Batista or a Navera right behind you. But they don't push you far enough. So I just was having trouble. I thought about adding more grip-related upgrades, which probably is how Speedmaster did it. That gave him more drive out at the last corner, which helped him to hit speed. So that makes sense. I wish I would have tried it. I didn't. But I don't like to look at other people's videos when I'm figuring this out. That's part of what makes this exciting for me. Okay, I'm a problem solver. I like dealing with difficult problems and solving them. So that's why I like to do these events from scratch, not looking at how anyone else has done it. And that's what I do. So sometimes it's not going to be the best way to do it, but the way I do it might work better for certain people. So that's why it's nice to have options. So that's why you should watch Speedmaster and you should watch me, because you'll see two different ways of doing things. And maybe one of us does it in a way that suits you better. So, I mean, Speedmaster and we're not really competitors against each other. We're working for the same goal. We're trying to make this game easier for you guys, show you ways to get things done. There I was trying to set up my run because I'm lengthening the track by going back and forth, and I got to get ready to hit that speed and huck this thing sideways and hopefully not go off track. Yikes, 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 yikes. There we go. Okay, now I think that's it. I think I just need to finish a lap and not freak out. I mean, I'm a little bit frustrated. I did 3 gold upgrades, and Speedmaster did 2. But then he spent a little bit more. He got more R dollar upgrades, which I guess I should have tried. But you know what? Whatever. It's okay. I don't mind this. So the last race, I think after this it's the last race, is it not? Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we, guys? Very soon. Here I'm just being careful not to blow it, because this took me a while to pull this off. Last race is no walk on the park, I'll tell you that much. And I mean, you can skip forward if you want to and see it, but it's no walk on the park. There's a couple of ways to do it, and I'm going to show you 2 methods. I'm actually going to go with what maybe is the harder method, but maybe not. And you'll see that very soon. We're almost done this race. At this point, I don't really care about having a bigger lead. It's really not that big, though. Yeah, it's really not that big. Like, obviously more than 150 meters, or else I'd see the distance. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, whatever, who cares? Just going to finish this the way it is right now. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I think it's the last race. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. This requires a lot of finesse to show you this first way, okay? You'll fail like 4 to 5 times doing that. You've got to let off the throttle, gently turn him. That gives you a nice lead. Here's the other thing, and this is what I'm going to go with. Really grind across him. He's going to hit the brakes. See that? You can tell he hit the brakes because he slowed down a lot. Now, I would have a 250 to 300 meter lead if I'd done the pit maneuver. But here's the thing. If he hits you too hard, you fail. So you can get away with a certain amount of damage before you fail. Oop, I went off track there a bit. You don't really want to take on a bunch. So I am going to drive where he wants to drive. I'm going to get on the brakes a little bit earlier sometimes, throw it sideways sometimes, and try my best. Doing this more on the straight and narrow, kind of a more legit way to do this. Huge acceleration advantage that we have, but he's got a huge braking and cornering advantage. That wasn't bad, actually, as far as how you drift a corner effectively in this game. You got to start your turn earlier than that. That was not good. That was not good at all. But for some reason, Magnus blew that corner. Wow, that's crazy. What the heck, Magnus? Okay, it's not great. It's not my worst, but it's not great. One more lap? Come on. That's going to be brutal, because he's going to really take this last corner well, I think. Oh, yeah, he did. Now, it's just my speed, but he's going to shrink this so fast. I've got to get on the brakes so early. And that wasn't early enough, so I got to huck it early. Now, that was better. You got to huck it early. You got to huck it when it feels wrong to huck it. So I'm braking late, but then I'm starting my drift turn early. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's quite the technique, and some people have mastered it. Lambo Coin blew my mind watching Lambo Coin do multiple drifts in a, I don't know, at a point Lambo Coin had the pole in a recent time trial competition last week's. Super impressive. So hard to effectively do multiple drifts and gain time. And so Lambo Coin is a precision, masterful driver. Definitely recommend you check that out. Time trial videos are awesome. So yep, go find Lambo Coin. Also, fabulous person, helped so many people in the game. Come on, let's go. I'm really nervous here. Magnus is getting very close. Once in a while, though, in these corners, they really blow it. Watch what happens here. Nope. Yep, look. It's like he washed out or something. Huh. Well, there we go. Well, guys, I hope you liked that. You saw my upgrades there. I showed you them right at the start. Those are the ones I ended up with. Please like, please subscribe. Here's something else you might find interesting. See you out there on the track. Best of luck owning your Pininfarina Batista with Furiosa. Bye-bye now.